Good morning. It is Saturday, October 7th. It's about 8 a.m. and I am sitting down enjoying my morning coffee and some knitting on my Speckles and Pop shawl, right? That Stephen West mystery knit along. Now that Clue 2 is out, I figure spoilers are a little bit okay. So you can at least see here that it's kind of forming a chevron pattern and it's got some fading to it. I'm a little bit over halfway at this point in Clue 1, so I've still got quite a good deal of knitting to do. But yeah, so today is still a working day for me. I've got to pack up the orders that were placed last night during the shop update. I've also got a couple skeins that were still drying yesterday that I need to put up in the shop, so I usually hate when that happens. I do my best not to let that happen, but with the cooler weather, I just had some yarn that just did not dry as fast. We're not quite in cool enough weather that I will, that I've got the wood burning stove going. Normally that is a fixture during the winter. We'll have that going basically all day because that's what heats this room and the dining room and the kitchen, right? It kicks off a good amount of heat. But yeah, so doing that, getting some more work done because tomorrow and Monday I'm going to be away from home. I'm going to be up at my parents' house. Monday night, I'm taking my youngest brother to a live recording of a podcast we both like. So that'll be up in Chicago. I got the tickets for his birthday for, I think he turned 28. Sorry, mental math. So he may be my youngest brother, but he's definitely not a baby. But yeah, so I gotta get some work done. But while I wake up, I'm gonna add some more rows to this shawl and drink my coffee and then take little puppy man out for a WALK in a little bit. Morning. So I'm on our morning walk with Ezra. He is running around somewhere behind me. As you can see, it's kind of chilly this morning as I've got my Clark pullover on, which I knit in the spring. I finished it maybe at the beginning of June. So, just in time to get a lot of wear over the summer. But yeah, figure I'll take Ezra on his walk and then head into the basement. There he is. Got my coffee with me. Got some hand knit socks on. We're good to go. So yeah, I'll see you guys probably in a little bit once I'm in the basement packaging up orders and winding more minis and packaging up those holiday mini skein sets. So more of the same today. One more work day before I actually get to take 2 days off, which will be really nice. So we have several of these walnut trees in our yard, and they are just dropping these things like crazy. I'm debating whether or not I should collect the hulls and try my hand at some natural dye. I'm not sure. I'm definitely tempted. definitely tempted. But I'm also not quite sure how huge of an undertaking it would be. But I don't know if you can see that. But yeah, they're just... So, hard at work back in the basement, as always. I got all of last night's orders shipped out, so I love when I can do that. I love when that happens, where I can get an order shipped out within 24 hours. That just, I don't know. It makes me feel like I'm doing a good job, you know? I've finished boxing up all of the 12 Days of Christmas show set base mini skein sets. So those are good and ready to go. I'm just waiting on the actual shipping boxes for those, and I'll be able to send those out. Which will definitely help me because they've just been sitting in my Etsy open orders list for, I mean, some of them since the beginning of August. Which, I mean, I know that's my customers were, you know, told to expect this time frame, right? That they wouldn't ship out until mid-October. But just having those sitting there in the open orders has been driving me nuts for, I mean, at this point, months, right? I hate it. But anyways, I'm getting closer to getting those shipped out, which makes me absolutely thrilled. And right now I am really excited. I'm dyeing up my November Sock Club colorway. Yeah, I'm really excited about it. I did a test batch of it last night and I really love how it turned out. So yeah, I think this may be the earliest I've gotten working on that, like just in terms of the timeline in the month, but I'm going to start working on it early. So I've already got a vague idea of what I want the pattern to be. Once I actually start that process, I will be adding those to the daily vlogs, kind of how I go about designing a sock pattern. But yeah, I'm thinking I'm wanting like a larger repeated motif. Not like, I feel like I've done a couple that were a bunch of small motifs built together. So like into like a ribbing or something like that, or like maybe like small ribbing and then something large in the center, like all those sorts of things. I'm thinking I want to do something larger, right? Maybe a motif that spans maybe like 12 stitches, 18 stitches, something like that, and is worked all the way around the sock, instead of pulling together a lot of small motifs. In part because I don't want to get too repetitive. I don't want my patterns to look too similar, right? Especially if, you know, I know I've got, there are a handful of you guys who have been signing up for every sock club or who have signed up for multiple ones, so I want to make sure you guys are getting a good variety. But also it's more fun for me. I mean, true story. I feel a little weird that I'm sitting here recording this with a towel on my head, but I guess that's just the nature of vlogging now for me. I personally am just a whole lot less polished when I don't sit down and make sure, I don't know, whatever. So yeah, this is fairly standard procedure for me. I've got my hair all twisted up until I'm ready to go dry it, which won't happen until, I don't know, until I at least turn off the stove. I'm not going to leave a actual open flame on its own while I go dry my hair. But anyway, I'm totally digressing. So yeah, that's going on. So I'm going to sit here and wind up more mini skeins. I think today I may actually just skip that video process for you, since you've seen that for the last couple days. Hopefully I can get done with work relatively quickly. We can do some actual knitting, which would be nice. I got some knitting in this morning, while Jordan and I were hanging out and waking up and kind of just chatting. I have to say that's another one of the big perks of him working from home now, is we actually get to hang out in the morning, right? It's not just him waking up and rushing and trying to get to campus on time or anything like that. You know, like we can actually catch up and talk about what's going to be going on during the day or what we're thinking about, you know, various things. It's just been really great to have that again. It was something that, I mean, that's something I've always enjoyed during our summers, you know, when we were both faculty or both in grad school. We both had more time, at least in the summers, right, where we could have a more delayed schedule. So it's nice having that on the regular. Yeah, also trying to set up, sorry, I'm just blathering now as I listen for the pot. Yeah, so I'm, you know, right now also trying to figure out the logistics to a possible trip to Chicago tomorrow for me and Jordan. I'm definitely going to be in Chicago on Monday since Colin, it's my youngest brother, Colin and I are headed out to go see a podcast, sort of live recording or whatever. We're going to go see Pod Saves America. And yeah, so Colin just got a new car, right? Colin is a med student. He's doing rotations now and is going to be applying for residencies and all that kind of stuff in the next year or so. And so he's discovered that reliable transportation is really quite crucial for him, you know, when he needs to be, you know, on the expressway in Chicago at 3:30 in the morning to get to, you know, his current rotation on time. And he's got an old Jeep that has had some issues. So he just got himself a new Ford Focus. It's kind of the car that me and my siblings all drive. It's whatever. Jordan thinks that's hilarious. But we're actually going to be buying his Jeep off of him. So why would we be buying an unreliable car? Oh, Jordan's actually good at working on cars. That's something he enjoys doing. And from what we've been able to gather about the Jeep, it's actually probably not that hard to fix what the issues are. But it's more money than Colin wants to put into it to fix it because it's an older car. And he would be paying for a mechanic to do it, and Jordan will do it on, you know, his own time. But it also works out well for us because we've discovered over the last year that having a 4-wheel drive car that you can, you know, throw mulch or lumber or whatever into would be really beneficial. It'd be really nice to have that out here. So yeah, so we're gonna do that, but we've got to try and figure out the logistics of actually getting up to Chicago to get the car from Colin, or find a way for Colin to get the car down to us. Dad's schedule is kind of crazy, working in an ER like he does. Colin's schedule is kind of crazy, and so Jordan suggested yesterday that maybe we'll go up to Chicago tomorrow. We'll drive up together, get the car, and then Jordan can drive that down by himself. So we'll see, but I've got to make some phone calls, make sure that Colin's ready to give up his car. It's his baby. He may not quite be ready to part with it yet, even though he's got a new one. But yeah, so all that going on. If I am in Chicago tomorrow, I'm debating whether or not I should hit up some yarn stores, see if anybody would be interested in doing a trunk show, things like that. Gotta keep hustling. So it's 2 o'clock. I'm putting the final touches right now on the November Sock Club colorway. It's sitting in the pot, coming back up to a boil, or a low simmer. Yeah, I've gotten some good work done. I've gotten some more minis made. I'm going to be doing a lot more of that. Made lunch for Jordan and myself. We did some deconstructed cabbage rolls. So basically it's a pot of like a ground beef and cabbage soup with mushrooms and onions and no rice, since I'm doing the low carb thing. It was really good, not gonna lie. But yeah, so I'm about to get back to work after taking about 45 minutes off for lunch. I think I'm gonna make myself some tea and I don't know, get back to it. I've got to figure out something good to watch. Because, I don't know, do you guys have this where, like, I've tried listening to podcasts all morning and just nothing is grabbing my attention. I'm not in the mood for anything. I think I just want to watch something, so I gotta figure out what I'm gonna watch. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Talked to my dad. We are going to be going up to Chicago tomorrow, so at least that'll be something new for you guys to see in the vlog. But yeah, oh, I did want to add that I really appreciate all of the comments you guys have been leaving on the vlogs. I don't know, it's a lot easier to do them knowing that you guys are enjoying them, that's for sure. I mean, part of it is it's a project for myself to try and, I don't know, kickstart some creative energy and all that kind of stuff. I've kind of set it as a challenge for myself. It feels a lot less silly knowing that you guys are actually watching and enjoying, or at least watching. Maybe not always enjoying, but you know. Time to figure out what I'm gonna do. My hair's just gotten crazier and crazier. So I mentioned earlier that there were a couple colorways that didn't make it up into the shop update last night because they were still drying. One of them actually I've got here in front of me. One of them is still on the drying rack. And it is Douillette, which is French for cozy. I've got it both on Chaussette and on Loire, so on the sock and the MCN base. Alright, really love the sort of tonal nature of the navy and the deep purple and that orange and cream that kind of gets like marled through there. And I have to say, I actually brought a bunch to the craft fair, to the craft fair last weekend, and it all sold out, which is why I dyed up some more. And honestly, I love this colorway, and I think it's really great with a couple of the other fall colorways I've got going on. So just to grab a couple examples to give you an idea, kind of from most subtle to least. If you wanted like a subtle combination for, I think a 2-color fall brioche project would be gorgeous in this, right? The same 2 colorways I used in the hat, but on MCN, right? Love that. I think that would be really, really gorgeous. Ended up as some sort of like brioche cowl or shawl, right? It's pretty fantastic too with Autumn Afternoon, right, where you get the really great autumnal speckling, but on top of that more camel color base, right? Really nice and warm. Or if you just want to go all out speckled, it's really pretty fabulous with feuilles mortes, right, or dead leaves. I just kind of keep spinning that. Right, again, would be epic as a 2-color cowl or 2-color brioche project, but actually works really, really well for if you wanted to do like a color, like a stranded color work sort of pattern. Love those too. So, finally done with work for the night. It's 8:30. So I have had some dinner and now I'm hanging out with Ezra. Yes, who's such a good boy. And I'm about to start knitting, finally. So I'm like a week behind now? No, I'm only halfway through clue 1 of my Stephen West knit along. And clue 2 came out yesterday. So I'm gonna go ahead and knit on clue 1. Yeah, so I'm gonna be watching some House of Cards and knitting for at least a little bit.